Good afternoon, students. So, in today's class, we will see the fifth chapter, that is nothing but information theory. So, in today's class, I will just explain a few topics of the fifth unit. So, first of all, what do you mean by a information theory? So, we need this information theory to enable the communication system to carry the information from the sender to the receiver over a communication channel. So, we already know that communication means nothing but transferring of information from one place to the another place. So, here information theory means it is needed for the enabling of communication system to carry the information from the sender to the receiver over a channel, and it deals with the mathematical modeling and analysis of a communication system, and the major task is to answer the questions of signal compression and transfer rate. So the those answers can be found and solved by entropy and channel capacity. So what are these terms, entropy and channel capacity? We'll see now. So first, information. So information means nothing but it is defined as a sequence of letters or alphabeted or symbols carries a message with a specific meaning. So and the amount of information in a message is inversely related to the probability of occurrence of the event. So for example, if P is the probability of occurrence of a message and I is the information gained from the message, others are related by I proportional to 1 by P. So here it is inversely proportional. So we can say I is inversely proportional to the P. So if the probability is 1, then the information is 0. If the probability is 0, then the information is infinity. So we can express this as I is equal to log to 1 by P bits. And we can also represent this one as a I is equal to log e 1 by p mat, and I is equal to log 10 1 by p decit. So these are the other representations for the information. And whenever, as I said now, whenever the probability is 1, we can say the information is 0. And whenever the probability is 0, the information is infinity. And in general, a smaller p will gives a larger I. So it means whenever we have a smaller probability, it is having a larger information. So a message with a high probability can be transmitted in a shorter time. So the message which is having a high probability can be transmitted in a shorter time. So that is about the information definition. I'll repeat the definition again. So we can say it is a sequence of a letters, alphabeted or symbols carries a message with a specific meaning. Or we can say the amount of information in a message is inversely proportional to the probability of occurrence of event P. Now we will see the properties of information. So it is, for example, if I1 is the information carried by the message M1 and I2 is the information carried by the message M2, then the amount of information carried combinedly due to M1 and M2 can be written as the summation, like I1 plus I2. For example, if two messages M1 and M2 are having the informations like I1 and I2, so the total amount of information can be written as a I1 plus I2. And also the probability of occurrence of a message is inversely relationship with the amount of the information, and it is the probability of occurrences. And if the probability of occurrence is less, information is carried more, and vice versa. So the probability of occurrence of a message is inverse relationship with the amount of information. And third one is every message will carry some information. I suffix k is always a non-negative with a minimum value of 0. And if there are m is equal to 2 power n equally likely messages, then the amount of information carried by the each message will be n bits. So I is equal to n bits. For example, if it is m is equal to 2 power n, we can say the amount of information carried by the each message will be n bits. So those are the properties of a information. So now we will see the entropy. So entropy means nothing but the average information for a message of a source is called an entropy. It is represented by capital H or capital E. So the average information content of a sequence of a symbol. So here we will see the H is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n pi log of 1 by pi, which is equal to minus of summation I is equal to 1 to n pi log of pi. So if the symbol rate is rs, then the information rate is RINF is equal to rs into x into h bits per seconds. So it is the formula for the entropy. So we can say simply as H is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n log 2 of 1 by pi into pi bits per symbols. So entropy is also having some properties. So here we will see the properties of entropy. So whenever the entropy is zero, if the event is impossible. So entropy is zero if the event is impossible. That is H is equal to zero if pk is equal to 0 or 1. And whenever where pk is equal to 1 by m for all the m symbols, then the symbols are equally likely. For such a source, entropy is H is equal to log 2m. So these are the properties of a entropy. So whenever the event is impossible, the entropy is 0, and where pk is equal to 1 by m for the symbols are equally likely, then such entropy can be written as H is equal to log 2m. So next we will see the source coding theorem. So the statement for the source coding theorem will be, the theorem can be stated as follows. So given a discrete memoryless source of a entropy H of S and the average code word length L for any distortionless source is bounded, coding is bounded as L is greater than or equal to H of S. So now we'll see the proof. And this theorem will provide the mathematical tool for accessing the data compaction. So here data compaction means nothing but the lossless data compression of a data generated by the discrete memoryless source. So without disturbing the information, we are just compressing the data. So next topic is that data compaction. I will explain that one later. And the entropy of a source is a function of the probabilities of the source symbol as well as that constitute the alphabet of the source. And the entropy of a discrete memoryless source, assume that the source output is a modeled as a discrete random variable s, and it takes on the symbols from a fixed finite alphabet. For example, like s is equal to s0, s1, and so on sk minus 1, with the probabilities of P of S is equal to Sk is equal to Pk. So here K means nothing but 0, 1, 2 and so on up to K minus 1, with summation K is equal to 0 to K minus 1, Pk is equal to 1, and defines the amount of information gain after observing the event S is equal to Sk as a logarithmic function. So we can represent I of Sk as log 2 of 1 by Pk bits. The entropy of the source is defined as the mean of I of Sk over the source alphabet S is given by H of S is equal to E of I of S of K. So it can be written as summation K is equal to 0 to K minus 1 Pk I of Sk, and that can be written as summation K is equal to 0 to K minus 1 Pk. So in place of I of Sk, I am writing this one. So this one log 2 of 1 by pk. So in place of I of sk, I'm just writing log 2 1 by pk bits. So the entropy is the measure of the average information content per source symbol. Now only we studied about that entropy, and the source coding theorem is also known as the noiseless coding theorem. Why? Because that it establishes the condition for error-free encoding to be possible. So in communication, it establish a error-free encoding. So that's why we are calling it as also noiseless coding theorem. So that is about the source coding theorem. So now we will see the data compaction. So now only we have seen the word data compaction here, right? So here we have seen the data compaction. Now we'll see what is a data compaction. So for the efficient transmission, redundant data should be removed from the signal before the transmission. So because of that, we are using this data compaction, and this operation will provide say no loss of information. So by using this data compaction, the information will not be changed, and it is performed in the digital form and is called as a data compaction or a lossless data compression. And this operation will also provide a source output with average number of bits per symbol, and also it generates original data could be reconstructed from this data with no loss of information. So without the loss of information, we will get the original message. So short descriptions are provided to the most frequent outcomes and the longer for the less frequent ones. So that is about the data compaction. So that's it for the today's class. We will continue the next topics in the next class. Thanks for watching.